Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I begin the video, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss out on any of my new LEGO Harry Potter videos. Now for today's video, I'll be sharing with you all a list of the top 10 LEGO Harry Potter sets that need to be remade in 2021. Also known as the coming future. Now the sets in this video aren't really placed in a specific order. I want remakes of them all. The whole top 10 thing is just a way for me to organize my thoughts and the video in general. Now, without further ado, let's hop right into the video and see what sets I've got on this list. The very first set on this list that I believe is definitely deserving of a remake is the Rescue from the Merpeople set, number 4762. It is based on the second Triwizard Challenge from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the fourth Harry Potter book and movie. And I personally think that the build for this set looks really good, but there is a ton of room for improvement, considering that it was made way back in 2005. The figures would be upgraded with new and improved printings and molds, and the build would look more complete, given the new array of blues available these days to mimic a very detailed and realistic aquatic setting. Generally speaking, I strongly believe that it is about time we get a remake of the set, hopefully sometime in the near future. Now, the next set that definitely needs a remake is Gringotts Spank, set number 4714. I just feel like so much could be done for this set. It is based on the part when Harry and Hagrid go down to visit Harry's vault, and Vault 713. The Harry, Hagrid, and Goblin minifigures could be upgraded based on their new versions from recent years, and the overall color scheme of the build could be upgraded from tan, white, and gray to something close to the Gringotts Spank included in the Nocturne Alley set. However, I do like that set number 4714 includes a cart and tracks, which is a neat little playability feature there. And moving on, I just had to include the 2002 Slytherin Common Room on this list, set number 4735. The 2002 build of it is really not the best, and I know it's based on the scene in the Chamber of Secrets where Harry and Ron drink Polyjuice Potion, transforming into Crabbe and Goyle, only to sneak into the Common Room and spy on Draco, which is completely unethical. I'd imagine that the remake of the Common Room would look similar to my version of the Slytherin Common Room. The mock that I made a few weeks ago. The 2002 build of the Common Room looks kind of janky, and it looks more like a wall and less like a common room in my opinion. If LEGO decide to remake the Slytherin Common Room, I really do hope that the Slytherin parts, such as the flags and wall banners, will be printed on the bricks rather than stickers. Generally speaking, considering the 2002 version of the Slytherin Common Room only has 90 pieces and 3 pretty cool looking minifigures, back in the day you'd get some really great value out of it. Next up, I really want LEGO to remake Snape's Class, set number 4705. Considering the Snape's Class set was released in 2001, there is a ton of room for improvement. You can really tell that his classroom is in the dungeons, which is, I suppose, a great thing. However, the color scheme of the build is lacking contrast and looks quite dull in my opinion. I am assuming that the lack of color and contrast is because this set is technically vintage, where the color palette for the sets were limited. Don't get me wrong, I still love this set very much. However, considering it was made so long ago, I see a ton of room for improvement. There are 3 figures included: Professor Snape, Peeves, and Ron Weasley. The best part of this set is the Snape minifigure. I think he looks really cool, and the fact that he has a glow-in-the-dark head makes him 1,000 times cooler. Regardless, this set needs a remake ASAP. So here's a photo of Snape's classroom from the movies. Does it look the same as Snape's Class number 4705? No. I'd love for the remake to capture the gorgeous round architecture of his classroom, with walls filled with potion bottles, workbenches, cauldrons, brass scales, files, textbooks, parchment, you name it. Hopefully they can include many Slytherin students, including myself, in this set. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think so. I just feel like so much could be done to improve Snape's Class and add more character to the build. I shouldn't be so hard on it, as it was technically made 19 years ago, and I know that this set is meant to be connected with the other parts of Hogwarts featured in other sets back in the day. Regardless, for a set that old, a standalone remake would be great. moving on, if we could get a remake of Snape's Classroom, then I find it very fitting to get a remake of the Defense Against the Dark Arts Classroom, also known as Lupin's temporary classroom, for as long as he lasts, of course. Now, right off the bat, this set looks better in most ways than Snape's Classroom as it was made in 2004, not 2001, like the other classroom. It's not substantially better by any means, but I do appreciate the use of tans and various shades of gray, giving off a lighter color scheme that has some contrast to it, which I like. Lupin's Classroom, like Snape's, would be built to fit in with the modern Hogwarts LEGO sets, as we want it all to fit together nicely in the end. It would follow a tan color scheme, and the flooring would be tiled, as seen in the photo of Professor Lupin's classroom in real life. It would also include a similar Bogart Snape that we got in the Bricktober pack back in 2018. Another set deserving of a remake would be Nocturne Alley, set number 4720. I believe that this set has got to be one of the coolest and best ones made back in the day in 2003. It looks very, very accurate to the actual structure from the outside, as you can see here in the physical image from the movies, and I do love the navy, blue, and gray color scheme that the LEGO set has to offer with the angled front store window piece. That is super cool. Should the set be remade, I'd imagine it would be larger, featuring a more detailed interior with many magical artifacts with various shades of gray and perhaps a more stable build. I'd love for the set to be remade mainly because it goes for a ton in the market these days, and receiving an upgraded, affordable version of the build would be amazing. The next set deserving of a remake is Dumbledores Office, set number 4729. Now, don't get me wrong, the set itself looks great. For a set made 18 years ago, it sure looks phenomenal in my opinion. One thing I think could be improved is the color scheme to suit the 2018, 2019, and 2020 Hogwarts builds so they could all fit together nicely, as I've mentioned previously for the classroom builds. Like I said before, I am not the biggest fan of the old grays and tans used in the older Hogwarts builds. The way how Dumbledore's office opens up is super cool. I think that feature could be integrated nicely in a modern, more sleek version of it, with improved minifigures of course, and more detail in the interior, like finished tiled floors, paintings, and portraits that are printed on tiles, shelves, and a modern pensive, the same one we got with the Dumbledore from the Series 1 CMF line, and that's just a few improvements to name. I'd love to get my hands on a modern Dumbledore's Office to go with my other Hogwarts sets from recent years. Moving on, I'd love for LEGO to remake the Chamber of Secrets set, number 4730, mainly because I want a new and improved, hyper-realistic basilisk. Please, LEGO, make my dream come true. The Salazar Slytherin face for the doorway was pretty well done in the 2002 Chamber of Secrets set, but still, I'd love to see a remake of it all, please. Like some of the other sets mentioned in this video, it would go along with the other Hogwarts sets. In the remake, I'd love for the new basilisk to look just as good, if not better, than the Hungarian horntail. I mean, I don't mind if it's brick built, just as long as it doesn't look like the awful one we got in the Hogwarts Great Hall set, please, because that one was a real bummer. Another set that I need for LEGO to remake is the Durmstrang ship, set number 4768. Based on the fourth Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, we need a new Durmstrang ship to represent the Durmstrang Institute from the Triwizard Tournament. Like I said in my top 15 best LEGO Harry Potter sets video linked above, a remake of this set would include a more mature color scheme with a more detailed hull and sails with the Durmstrang Institute logo printed on it, and it would look similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean Queen Anne's Revenge, set number 4195. But I'd prefer for the upper portion of the boat where the captain's office is to look more like the Silent Mary, set number 71042. I love how LEGO designed the Silent Mary and many of the Pirates of the Caribbean ships and boats, and I can see them integrating some of the building techniques from both ships to the Durmstrang ship, just to make it 1,000 times cooler. The 2004 version of the Durmstrang ship looks fine, but is definitely not the greatest. For its retail price of $50 USD, it's a sweet set budget-wise, and includes Victor Crumb and Professor Carracroft, both being exclusive minifigures. Last, but certainly not least, the final set that I'd love for LEGO to remake is the Shrieking Shack, set number 4756. I kind of alluded to this in my Deathly Hallows set ideas video. The Shrieking Shack remake would be based on the book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, specifically the scene from the book only, where Severus Snape confronts Voldemort and is then killed by Nagini in the Shrieking Shack. So please do not get confused, because some people got confused in my other video as I didn't really elaborate on the fact that I took that scene, if you will, from the book. I find it more possible to get a Shrieking Shack based on the 7th book in the near future rather than based on the Prisoner of Azkaban, as LEGO are creating sets in the order of the books for the most part, with a few sets sprinkled here and there due to the fact that Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is the final book left in that order. I'm assuming that they would go with that and create the Shrieking Shack based on Snape's death from the book, not from the movie. With that in mind, the remake of the Shrieking Shack would include a detailed shingled roof, similar in some ways, but different of course, to what we saw in 4 Privet Drive, as well as a wooden wall exterior with gaps in it to give it that old fragile look. The last time we got a Shrieking Shack was in 2004, and generally speaking, I think it's about time that we get a remake of this set based on the Deathly Hallows book. It would include Voldemort, Nagini, Severus Snape, and of course, Mr. Potter. Now, this is the part where the video must come to an end. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. What are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree with my list of sets that I think are deserving of a remake in the coming future? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now!